Hi, I'm Dan Hiller, associate from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater College of Business and Economics, and this is Marketing 312, Principles of Selling, here in the summer, and we're week 5 already. And hey, I apologize, I got this thing going. I had sunburnt my lips 2 weeks ago out on a boat. Never had that happen before, and it takes a month to heal. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, so sorry about that. But let's get right into a little bit. This is the 5th week. Things are going fast. Next week we wrap things up, so and last week was fantastic. So just real quick about last week. Last week, of course, we did the building rapport and needs ID, and I was really impressed by how you all responded, what you did. It was awesome. The only thing I would suggest, we did spin selling. We did that spin selling exercise, and a lot of you, quite a few did use it and did very well. And those of you that didn't use spin selling, you didn't score as well. So please, this week we're going to begin preparing for our presentation closed competition role play, which is team selling. Pay attention to that scenario and pay attention to the rubric, because that's how the judges judge you, okay? And that's how you get your grade. So please do that. All right, so Chapter 10 is responding to objections, and Chapter 11 this week is closing the sale. And responding to objections is really important and something you need to learn to do throughout the process. They can happen at any time, which some of you have found out, but they tend to be heavier towards the end. The other part is closing the sale, and that's probably one of the hardest things that salespeople do, is because they're afraid to ask the question because they don't want to hear no. So there's a lot of different ways to close the sale and ask for the sale, but you know what? That's what we are there for as salespeople, is to create that transaction. And if you do everything in the process all the way through, all the needs identification, build some rapport, do the needs identification, and do a proper presentation that addresses those needs, and then ask for the sale, it makes it a lot easier because it's logical and it follows. In fact, it's almost anticlimactic. So in week 5 here, we have handling objections exercise, which is kind of like the needs ID, only now you're going to list maybe a product you're trying to sell and put a closing question out there, and then the customer's answer, which is the objection, and then let somebody else put the put how they handle objections. And we can have a little fun with this too. We can learn a lot. We'll see some good ways to handle objections, but we can also play with it too and have a little bit of a good time. So for instance, back in the day, I was selling life insurance, and the joke was, if somebody says, well, I like to sleep on this, I like to think about it, and you said, oh, you like to sleep on it? You like to think about whether or not you should get the life insurance? And they go, yeah, and say, I tell you what, you go right ahead, you sleep on it, and do me a favor. If you wake up in the morning, give me a call. And then you laugh, and then they go, oh, okay, that's very funny. But no, seriously, you can think about it. But, you can have some fun with it too. So let's have a good time with it. But also remember, when you're doing these handling objections, the biggest thing is you clarify, number 1, their concern. So make sure you understand it. Number 2 is you actually handle the objection or address the concern. And number 3 then is that you verify that you've addressed it. That we can now move on. One of the fun things I really like about this week is recording an impactful story using the TAIL method. Stories are a great way to do presentations. It's a great way to handle objections. I understand why you feel that way, ma'am. In fact, Bob Smith over at ABC Supply had the same problems you did and the same concerns. And he took our word for it, and this is what he did. And you tell a story about what happened. And now, because it's a story, it becomes real, and it's a testimonial besides, and they get emotionally involved, and it helps to cement the thought rather than just stating facts. Okay? So telling a story can be extremely impactful because it has a lot of psychological advantages. So using the TAIL method, make sure you do that. You're going to record an impactful story no more than 3 minutes, and make sure it's important and it has an important point. It doesn't have to be about your cat dying. It can be sad, it can be happy, it can be just a really interesting point about something. But make sure it has a good point, okay? Please complete the course climate evaluation. An email will be sent to you with a link, and this is where we get feedback from you on the course. And really appreciate if you could do it. Now, next week I'm going to ask you for a course introspection discussion, and that's going to be more about what did you learn in the course and what did you think of the course and a couple other things. But it's going to be what did you learn and how you're going to use it. But this is just, this is the standard thing that we send out every year, and I always enjoy hearing the feedback, good and bad, and always trying to get better. So I do give extra credit, not extra credit, actually points towards your grade for completing the evaluation. And since there's only 10 of us that are active, oops, what did I just do? Since there are only 10 of us active, no, it didn't disappear, it's back there. Since there are 10 of us only active in the class, it's important that as many of you complete as possible. I really would appreciate it. You may wonder, how do I know if it's anonymous? Because it's anonymous. How do I know that you took it? They do send me a list that says who filled it out. So if only 2 of you filled it out, I'm probably going to know who's who. So if all of you can fill it out, it'd be really greatly appreciated. And you get the points, okay? Make sure you sign up for the presentation and close competition, which is going to be next week on July 1st. And this is team selling, so there's going to be 2 of you. And I know 2 teams have been formed already, and we have 3 more teams that get signed up, so I need you to sign up now for teams. And the time frame on it, and I will be sending out an email with a link for you to reserve the time. And it'll be like the first one we did with the phone call one, where you'll sign up for a time and you'll get a confirmation email. Now, here's the stickler. 1 person has to sign up. I can't have 2 people sign up. So 1 has to sign up and put the other person's name down. I'll have some blanks for them to fill out to do that. But then when you get that, if you're the one that signed up, when you get that confirmation email, please, you're going to have to forward that confirmation email to your partner as well, okay? So that both of you get on at the same time. And we're still going to use WebEx Teams like we just did. So if you have Apple, or you have what's it called, the Google Book, Chromebook, please go in to WebEx Teams and download the app. The only thing that's going to mean is you can't join the competition until it's time to do it. Because if you click join meeting, it will put you through right into the room. I have no control over preventing that. And if somebody else is competing, I'll have to ask you to please leave and go back in at your time. So just keep that in mind if you're one of the couple people that has one of those, okay? We will have, the time frame on this will run probably somewhere between 2 to 5:30. We have 5 spots for you guys and 5 spots for some AMA students who are going to compete and do it as well. And we have the big competition. So I'm taking the numbers on how everybody did in these competitions, and the top 3 competitors for the competition. Now, you're all getting your grades, but the top 3, the 3 that did the best in the competitions, it's no other assignments, nothing else. In those competitions, will win cash prizes, okay? So looking forward to this coming week. And don't forget, we have the quiz, which is the 5th quiz, which is the last quiz that we have. And that one will be, we do have a 6th quiz, which will be the last week, but that's optional to help improve your grade if you want, okay? All right, well, thanks so much, and